Hello guys and girls, and welcome to the week 3 power rankings of the GPC season 3. First of all, sorry that I'm this late, it's totally on me. I did not say it because of holidays, I did not have the time, and yeah, they're kind of late, but here they are now, and yeah, hopefully, at least they're there. But okay, first, before we dig into the power rankings, I will go over some updates. First of all, Kino and Nacho sadly had to step out as an analyst for the GPC, so that's why you don't see their power rankings on screen right now. Their current life situation does not allow them to basically keep being an analyst here and gives qualified power rankings to the table and stuff. But you don't have to worry about that, because I have another guest here, which I'll go over shortly. He will stay silent for a bit now, because there's actually another update, not on the analyst side, but on the player side. David dropped out, but he basically dropped out because he had some issues too with life. He doesn't really have the time to team build and stuff. And yeah, we have a replacement in it, Shadi and the Bayern Munich. You probably know from the PPL. He's joining in. He did draft a new team. From what's left overs and from what David's team was left, but he will be not on this power rankings yet because he did not have any battles yet. He will be starting for the week 6 power rankings. He will be in there too, and yeah, I can start bashing him. That will be something I look forward to. But yeah, to my guest, he stayed silent for close to 1.5 minutes now. I got Pierre here.
Hello.
Coach of the VC Reshiram. Jess didn't have the time, but I wanted someone to talk with, and yeah, that's why he made his own power rankings, and surprisingly he's not at the top of his own, but yeah, that is the...
Alright, so you're starting at me?
Yeah, I can start. Yeah, let's start with 15th place. We of course don't have a 16th place, because like I said, David dropped out, and we don't rank Shadi yet, so 15th place, we both have actually Bluesy and the Edinburgh D-Knights, and if I start talking why I have him at last place, in his first 3 weeks, he did not, he had the worst performance so far in the league. That's why he is at last place. Nothing to, sugarcoat that. He did had 3 losses, one very high versus the Philadelphia Focus Miss, 1-2-0 for the Duns Arsenal, and 1-0-4 versus the Shadow Valley Mercrow. Of course, 2 of those teams are pretty high ranked, and, the Duns Arsenal not as high, at least on my list, and Pierre's list too, but, if you start with 3 losses in the league, that's basically, I can't put you any higher, Bluesy, I'm sorry, I think he can still come back. He's not salty or something about the losses. He's taking it with a smile on his face still, and I think he got the capabilities to come back to this. But yeah, Pierre, your thoughts on Bluesy?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. He did not have a strong showing for the first 3 weeks. He got blown out in week 2. Although it is against a very strong team. Again, nothing to take away from him. But yeah, just as far as putting him in a ranking situation, he was the only team through... I'm not sure if I think he was the only team through the first 3 weeks without a win. So just had to put him there. That's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how this works, sadly. But yeah, next up at 40th place, we have the same guy too. And yeah, you can basically start on him.
All right, so we have Rufus, Parasens. Pretty solid team, but through the first 3 weeks, he lost to myself 6-0. He lost, and then he beat Martine 5-0, and then lost the week after that to Omega 6-0. So he has those extremes. He either wins big or he loses big, and unfortunately, he's lost big. At that point, he had lost big more than won. So just had to put him there. Everybody above him, for the most part, either their margins were smaller, and it symbolizes that they played better. And as far as the power ranking goes, that's really what puts Rufus in last. It's just that his losses were weak, even though he does have a strong win.
And yeah, I kind of agree that it's a pretty fun example that he got 2 6-0 losses and 1 5-0 win. Right. After week 2, I could say the first one was maybe he did not have his best day, and then he showed his best day on week 2. But after week 3, it's still surprising to see what he can pull off in the upcoming weeks. If there maybe will be a big win again, but for now he lost more than he won. So it seems more that his big win was a bad day of his opponent. But yeah, we don't know yet. He's a strange fellow, at least record-wise. So I'm looking forward to what he can bring up in the future weeks.
Right.
Yeah, but okay, so it's my turn again, and at my 13th place, I got Sam, coach of the Duns Barcelona. Let's see where I have him on my piece of paper. There I have him, yeah. He has to a team with only one win. In the first week, he won versus the last on both our rankings. He then lost 4-0 and 2-0 to like the guy which left the league to Swallowford FC. He lost 2-0 too. David was not doing too well like in the upcoming weeks and stuff, but he's out of the picture. We don't really talk about him. And yeah, the 4-0 loss for the Detroit Dragon Droppers, which is 2 on the bottom half of both our rankings. So like from all the teams which only have one win, there are a lot after week 3, and I think he won versus the lowest ranking opponent and lost versus the lowest ranking opponent too. Like if that makes sense to you at the other side of the screen. That's basically why I have him at the second lowest of the people with only one win. But yeah, I mean I faced Sam already in season 2, and like I like to say something positive about everyone. But yeah, I faced him already. He actually beat me in my season 2 of the GPC. I mean, I was not doing too well in the season already, but that is nothing to take away from Sam. He has the capabilities to get some win in this league. But yeah, I think he needs to take some more time in team building and stuff. But yeah, that's another topic. I mean, he knows best what he needs to bring to win, basically.
All right. So in my 13th slot, I have Gareth, coach of the Lorient Love Discs. Through the first 3 weeks, he had 2 losses, one to one of the better teams in the league in Bob, and then another to, let me see. He ended up beating Omega, and then he lost to Martine. So looking at that, Gareth, the losses were actually, his first loss was pretty decent. He didn't do too badly, but he got 5-0'd by Martine, and let's see, he did 3-0 Omega, of course. But just looking at, like, I watched the matches. I watched that one in particular, and it didn't look, he looks strong at points, but it's just that I don't know, some things just don't seem to work out for him, and he shoots himself in the foot a lot. And that just seems to me like what puts him further down. I feel like he has the capability to be further up. I just feel like of the one-win teams, he is through week 3 was the lowest of, or the second lowest of the one-win teams as far as just potential, which is part of what goes into power ranking, and performance thus far. I just feel like he would be second lowest of them.
Okay, fair enough. If I continue now talking about Gareth. I mean, I have him higher. I have him on 11th place, which is 2 places higher. We have Sam and Gareth switched up. I decided to put him higher because, he won versus the Toronto Toteros, which Sam did not pull off. Like of course he did not play in the first 3 weeks, so that's basically not something smart to say from my side. But he won versus a higher ranked opponent. Let's say it like that. He won versus Toteros, and his loss versus the Campos Zygarde, which is like pretty high ranked too. Like we all know Bob, he is the season 2 champion. He knows his stuff. His draft is not as strong as last season, at least in my opinion, but he still knows his stuff. Probably one of the better team builder I saw in league format, like in general. And then he has a pretty big loss with Martin, but yeah, like I don't remember this match quite well, but like basically these 2 points made my decision to put Gareth higher than Sam, or basically higher than why he is higher than Martin basically comes in the next point. But yeah, like he lost to Bob, but he won versus Omega. That basically makes him higher than Sam in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
So basically, to get back in order, I would not go the 12th place yet. I would ask your opinion about Sam Duns Arsenal, so we can go team wise, because I think that would be better than going for places like talking about the same team.
All right. Well, yeah. Wait, you said to talk about Sam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did all what you said. I understand. I agree with this. There's like no argument here. He did his only win is against the current last place team, and his worst loss was against, or well, Oh, no, no, never mind. His worst loss was against Brett, who is higher up, but not by much. And he also lost to the former last place team, who was David, who is no longer here. Uh, and looking at scores, it was a 4-0 loss and a 2-0 loss, I believe. And then his win was a 2-0 over Bluesy. Uh, Looking at those games, I did feel like he could have performed better. Uh, I think between 14 and 11, like that range right there, they're all really close together. But for the most part, I did feel like uh, between Sam and Martin would be around, well, where I put them at, which is 11. You said that we had it swapped. But I just feel like they're towards the top as far as that 14 to 11 region. Um, just because I feel they have the like most potential and the fact that like they didn't lose too badly. I feel well, Sam didn't lose too badly. Week two was actually closer than it really looked as far as the battle was, and yeah, that's really all I have to say about that.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Okay, that's about these teams. So let's go the 12th place, in which we actually have the same team, the West Wind Park Rangers, coached by Martin. And yeah, I just started talking on this because I already started talking. But okay, yeah, he's one of the teams with only one win and two losses in the first 3 weeks. And yeah, I have to agree on that, on the statement you already made. Like these places, the only one win teams, I had a pretty hard time ranking them because yeah, like it's pretty close if you lose 2 times and only win 1 time. I have to compare to who they won versus who they won and versus which they lost to basically make my opinion about it. But yeah, Martin here, he lost 1-0 to the Manchester Meganium, a pretty high ranked team, like a close loss to a higher ranked team. That's decent. But then he lost 5-0 to the Parasans, which is currently our second to last place in this ranking because we have only 15 people. That's a pretty high loss versus a pretty low-ranked team. And yeah, then you have 5-0 win versus the low-ranked losses, which are in my ranking higher than him because of basically the reasons I already had when I talked about Gareth. But yeah, he's like, that's kind of the Parasons phenomenon, if I can call it that, like high losses and high wins. It's not as big because he got a close loss in the first week, but especially the game in the second week, like this 5-0 versus the Parasons, which is their only win so far, and they got 6-0 in the other 2 matches. I mean, it told that he can make, like, he has his bad days, and if he has his bad days, they are bad. if I can say it like the 1-0 loss versus the Manchester Meganium is not like it's fine. Like it's not, he is a pretty high ranked opponent. It's a close loss. This game could have probably ended a different way. I don't have the exact like how the battle goes in my hand, but a 1-0 looks always like the game could have swinged either way with a bit hacks or something like that. And then he has impressive win with Laurent Loftus, so yeah, he can definitely rise again. But for now, I have him at 12th place.
Yeah, that's basically all the reasons I had him there. Just a really interesting loss in week one, and then he had one big win, but of course it was against Gareth, who is towards the bottom, and then lost really badly against Rufus. So it's hard to gauge that way when you like with Rufus, it's easy because he has 2 really bad losses and then 1 really good win, whereas Martin has 1 really close loss. I don't want to say good because no loss is really good, but he's got that loss and he has a good win and another bad loss. So it's like he's in that area where it's like understandable. It's just. Yeah, I just feel it's the same things that you said, really.
Yeah, like of course everything I say is right, so you can basically every time agree with me.
Exactly.
But okay, starting at 10th place, we both have the same team again there, which is the Detroit Draco Droppers, coached by Brett. And yeah, you can start talking about Brett.
Okay, so Brett has been interesting this year. Week 1, he did lose 2-0 to Sasha. Week 2, he beat Sam 4-0 and then lost week 3 4-0 to Uzi. his losses were quality losses. I would say that just because of where his opponents stand. Sasha is higher up than he is, and Uzi is also quite a bit higher up than he is. His one win is against Sam, who is below him, but it was a 4-0. I mean, convincing wins definitely do boost you as far as ratings go, or rankings, excuse me. But I just feel like 10th is a good place for him just because of the people. It's like everyone above him deserves to be above him and everyone below him deserves to be below him. It's like the perfect spot for him to be in. It's just really just, yeah.
Yeah, like I basically agree on that. Like with the big win versus a guy low, basically Brett was pretty like he was like the guy which was left, and that's why he was at 10th place. Like I ranked the guys from top, I ranked the guys from bottom, and then I had like a few people in the middle left, and yeah, from them it seems like just like Brett, like this spot would fit Brett the most. He beat the Dance Arsenal, which is he higher than. He lost to both the teams, which are higher than them. Like well, everyone close. And yeah, like Brett, sorry I can't talk too much about you, but that's how this ranking from my side worked. But yeah, thanks. Pierre gave some good insight on how you did performance stuff. But yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, that was a quality commentary on this place of the power rankings. I apologize already. But okay, not worrying about that. At 9th place, we got the New Jersey Jump Loves coached by Christian, aka Mind Warrior 49. And yeah, I start on this one too. He is one of the only 1-win teams and 2 losses. The second best on my list, and I think on yours too. Yeah, on yours too. And yeah, his win was the Manchester Meganium, and his 2 losses were versus the Toronto Toteros and the Campbell Garden. Both teams are higher ranked than him. Toronto Toteros are close to him on both our rankings, but the win was the Manchester Meganium, basically impressed me because Connor is doing very well this season and pulling off a win versus him, which is so far the only loss he suffered in this season. Made my decision easy to put them a bit higher than the rest of the 1-win teams, at least like the close to most of the rest. Of course, there's one team which is still higher than him, but we can talk about that later. And yeah, his losses versus the Toronto Towers was a pretty close one. Like a 2-0, it's of course not a 1-0, but still pretty close. And then he has this 5-0 loss versus Bob. But like I already said, Bob knows his stuff. A 5-0 is of course a high loss. That's why I can't rank him like for the highest team on the 1-win side of the power rankings. But yeah, that's basically why I have him here at 9th place.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. It's where he should be, and he definitely does have the ability to do better. He's shown through the first 3 weeks with a good win, and he had one bad loss. What was it? Oh my gosh.
The 5-0 loss versus Campbell.
Yes, he had a 5-0 loss, but his other 2 matches were quality, with one quality win and a quality loss, like I said, my word. But yeah, I just feel like that's the place for him. He should be there. It's kind of like Brett's situation, just he's done better than Brett overall. Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah, okay. That's all about Chris. So at 7th place, you got the Toronto Terrors. I got at 8th place. Yeah. Let's talk about your 8th place. Okay, I got a bit confused with power rankings. Yeah. Your 8th place, you got the Swansea City. I got them at 7th place. And yeah, like with the whole switching up thing, it's you again. Talking about Sasha here.
All right, so looking at Sasha through the first 3 weeks, he opened up strong with a 2-0 win over Brett. Brett, of course, is in 10th on both of our lists, but so they're close, I guess, if you want to judge skill level by power ranking in that way. I guess it would look like they're close in skill. They then lost 2-0 to the Shadow Valley Merc, who is actually higher up. So losing 2-0 to someone who is by rankings better than you does put you in a better place. And as far as what did he do week 3? Oh my gosh, can't find his name.
Wait, he lost 6-0 to the first place.
Yeah.
To Philadelphia to Met.
Spoilers. So yeah, a really bad loss week 3, unfortunate. But he did have, of course, a quality loss week 2 and an okay win in week 1. Just putting all that together, I do feel like he deserves to be in the eighth place slot. I feel like the same way I felt with Chris and Brett, this is where he should be, no higher, no lower. But at the same time, uh, that week three definitely it hurts him, but at the same time, it's almost as if it's justified because of where the person he played against was ranked. Now, of course, it's not as far as how a player does. It's not always going to be based on how much better their opponent was. Maybe it's the team they bought. Maybe it's they didn't team build correctly or whatnot. But as far as rankings go, that's how it goes. So that's why I put Sasha at 8.
Yeah, okay, like, I will start talking about Sasha in 7th, and basically we have 7 and 8 switched up. You have Toronto Terrace in 7th, and I have them at 8, so I basically talk about both of them, and then you can give your insight on the Toronto Terrace. So first up, talking about Sasha with the Judith, he is in my opinion, the best of the 1-win teams. That's why he's higher. He's actually higher than 1-2-win team on my list. And that's basically because he had a very hard schedule. Like, he won versus the Detroit Draco Droppers, which is like a middle ground team in most of our lists. Oh, we haven't both at 10th, so yeah. But with the Shadow Valley Murkrows and the Philadelphia Focus Mist, he has basically 2 top 3 teams on my list in the first 3 weeks. Both losses. He's not the only one which lost to them, of course. That's why they are so high up. And in comparison to that, we have Omega, which did battle like the New Jersey Jumblers, the Lorient Lost, the Anti-Parasons, which are all 3 teams which are lower ranked on him, which are on the lower half of the power ranking. That's why actually I decided to put Sasha higher up than him, because I know both. Like, I kind of know both of them from season 2. Of course, I only battled Sasha because he was my division. I did not battle Omega. But yeah, I know that Sasha can do well. And I had him in first place in the poster power ranking, so his draft definitely gives him all the tools he needs to perform good in this league. And I believe he will do better, and that's basically all the reason why I have him higher up than Omega. Even though he has 1 win less.
Mm-hmm. So as far as Omega goes, so he opened up with, of course, the 2-0 win, like you stated, against Chris in week 1. Week 2, he did lose to Gareth, which is, of course, it's going backwards considering Gareth was towards the back of both of our lists. And then he beat Rufus 6-0. So I'm giving him a little more credit, I guess, for the Rufus win than maybe I should. But because of the fact that he came off last week against Martine, who isn't bad by any means, he's just back there because he just didn't. He had that really bad loss in week 1 to Connor, which set him back. But Rufus was coming off of a really good week for him. I feel like he might have entered that game with a lot of confidence, and he did feel okay going into it, and then he just got destroyed by Omega with that 6-0. I just feel like putting all that stuff together, I really do feel like Omega does have the edge over Sasha as far as the power rankings go. I do think they could be interchangeable as far as 7 and 8 goes, but I do feel like Omega is a little bit better than Sasha as far as power rankings go. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. On to the 6th place, where we got both the Manchester Meganium, coached by Connor or Me Master Cobra. He has many names. He has the Dank Memes. He is on 6th place on this list. And looking at the record he had in the first 3 weeks of the GPC, he started with the 1-0 win versus the West Wigan Park Rangers. He then lost 3-0 to the New Jersey Ramblers, and then actually won 2-0 versus the guy next to me on this power rankings here, versus the VC Reshiram. And he on my list is the second to worst. Like, it sounds more bad than it is. Like, he is only 2-win teams. It's like the 2-win teams are two pretty difficult to rank by my side. Like, all 6 to 2nd place. 6 to 3rd place. So I'm sorry, but the Connor, he did not do as well as the others. That's why I have him at the close to lowest point of the 2-win teams. He lost. He won 1-0 versus the West Wigan Park Rangers, which is lower than him, but he won versus you, which is pretty high on the list. At least the top 4th, if I can say it like that. But he lost again to 3-0 to the New Jersey Jumblers, which are at 9th. So all of this together, he got a close win to the West Wigan Park Rangers, with only 1-0. Of course, the win is the win. It counts every time. It doesn't matter the difference, unless, of course, you're tight and stuff. Like, differential always matters, but I'm rambling, but... he got two close wins with 1-0 and 2-0, and one a bit higher loss with a 3-0. Like, that's like a middle ground loss, if I can say it like that. Not a quality loss, if I can say it in your words. But
yeah.
But yeah, these are basically the reasons why I have him at the lowest point, because his wins were not as high and his losses were actually bigger than his wins, or his loss, better said.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, I'm 100% in agreement with what you said there. So I really have to say much more. His wins were, of course, they were nail biters, but he played well enough to put himself in those positions, and I feel like that deserves to put him in the top 6, on top of the fact that he has 2 wins. And what do you call it? And then one of those wins being against the higher ranking team, and then the other win, of course, 1-0 against Martin, which is good. It's a victory. And Martin, of course, like we've been saying throughout this, because I think we also played I forgot what else we played, but we said throughout that he isn't a bad player by any means. So he's got the 2 wins, and he does have an okay resume. It wasn't a bad loss, of course, in week 2. But yeah, I think we're good in that.
Okay, then
Connor deserves to be there.
Starting at 5th place, we actually have some differences again throughout the next 3 places. So starting at 5th place, I think you can do a start again.
All right. So I had Merck in 5th place. So looking at his road through the first 3 weeks so far, he opened up the season with a 3-0 loss to Uzi. His next week, he would win against Sasha 2-0, who is a middle ground team. He was 7th on yours, 8th on mine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in week 3, he beat Bluesy 4-0 and Bluesy's in, of course, last place on our rankings at the moment. So if you take into account the rankings, his loss was a high quality loss. I actually watched the battle. It was actually a pretty good battle. I think there was like one turn that turned everything around, and then his wins were pretty good. So looking at all of that together, I just feel like because we have Bob and Merck switched, right? You have Bob in 5th, and I have Bob in 4th.
Switched. Like we have all 3 players switched. It's a mess. It's a mess.
It's a mess. Okay, but yeah, so I just feel like outside of the next few, well, I guess 1 and 2 are pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna say them yet, but between 3 and 5, I just feel like he is the worst of those 3. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I just feel like it's a toss up, and it's just, he ended up 5th for me. Just looking at his history, his league, his week history. There you go, and I feel like he deserves to be 5th right now.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I have him at 3rd place. Like he is on, like, from these 3 people which we all have at different places, I have at the best of the 3, which may be a bit of a toss-up, but that's like maybe maybe I got a bit influenced that I still believe in Merck, because I quite well remember all the week 1 matches, and versus Uzi, not to taking any credit away from Uzi, he battled how he had to battle, he won the match fair and square, but Merck was not on this game that day. He did not prepare the best he could. He did not battle the best he could. It looked basically like he still needed to get his groove for league play. Like he needed to get back into it. And then after week 3 and week 2 and week 3, which he both won, versus Sasha, which is like on the top half of the team, and of course he won versus Bluesy, which is at last place from our side, which is, I mean, this win was kind of expected, but still 4-0 is always impressive, and the 2-0 win versus Sasha, basically I can't talk too much about this because you already got pretty good into detail it, but like I said, I still believe in Merck. I think his first loss was because it was not his day, and this may be a bit of an oversight, and I may give him too much credit here. I may believe too much in him, but believe in Merck. That was my motto for place 3 at the moment, and yeah, that's why I have him so high up. And we'll see if it's justified in the upcoming weeks. I hope he does, and yeah, if not, I'm pretty much screwed and will, forfeit my place as analyst. No, not as bad, of course.
All right, so your 5th and my 4th are the same. So do you want to do your 5th now?
Yeah, I think I do go over my fifth place now, which is actually Bob, which is your 4th place. And looking at Bob's record, he won 2-0 in week 1 versus Lorient and lost this. He lost 3-0 to Pierre, which is commentating with me right now. And then he won 5-0 versus the New Jersey Jump Loves. And looking at that, like, of course, he, in my opinion, he had to be lower than you. Because he lost to you 3-0, and his 2 wins, of course, he had 2-0 win with the Lorient Losses, which is lower ranked than, I mean, at the moment, close to all are lower ranked than him, but these 3 places were difficult to decide. I had already, basically, Mirko I had at place 3 because of the reasons I already stated, but out of you two, like Pierre and Bob, I'm talking at the moment, I think that you are the better team, or the better performing team at the moment, and yeah, that's why I had to put Bob lower. Of course, he lost to you 3-0, so in the direct matchup, he already won, so why not let you win here too in these power rankings?
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But
all right,
that was Come As a Garden. You have 4th place, so yeah, let's hear your 4th.
Yes, I have him in 4th. I just feel... like I said earlier, 5 through 3 was kind of a toss-up between the 3 teams. I put Bob in 4th because of the fact that his loss was a very good quality one. Of course, he does have that win against Gareth, which doesn't boost him too much because Gareth is towards the bottom by week 3. But then he came back in week 3 and beat Christian 5-0. So I feel like his wins... As against comparing his wins to Merck's wins, I do feel like he had higher quality wins for sure. And I mean, Merck does have the better loss. Well, yeah, Merck does have the better loss, but not by much. So if I put it's a really fine line between him and Merck, but I did give Bob the edge there just because of a slightly better week 3. But not by much. It just wasn't. It was not like he blew anyone away with his performance or anything like that. It's just that him and Merck were so close together. I just decided to give Bob the edge there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Like I said, it was difficult. Believe in Merck was the smidge would make him to 3rd place. And yeah, Merck, if you're listening right now, better don't ruin this for me. Better perform well now in the upcoming battles. But okay, looking at my 4th place and your 3rd place, I mean, I start on that because I don't think you have to say too much because it may seem pretty weird. But yeah, we have the team of Pierre, the VC Reshiram, right here. And I have him at 4th place, basically because out of, like I said, we already talked a lot about place 3, 4, and 5 being pretty close. The Murkros I gave the top place out of the 3, and then it was a battle of Bob and you, and yeah, I had ranked Bob lower because of the loss versus yourself, but your other matches you had, you won 6-0 versus the Parasons, and then lost 2-0 to the Manchester Meganium. Manchester Meganium is a decent high team, like he's in the top third of our power rankings, and the Parasons are of course pretty low. But 6-0 is 6-0, and you never question 6-0. Like, if you could dominate your opponent that much, that you could go to 6-0, even if it was a lower-ranked opponent, that's pretty impressive. That's why I have you so high up in the list. And, of course, the 3-0 win versus Bob, which is the Season 2 champion, is always impressive. It was the first win of Bob in this season. Like, for a long time, it was the first loss Pierre, I already said, Bob suffered. Like, looking at the matches from Season 2 too. And
I undefeated last year.
Yeah, like, I enjoyed that very much, and that's why I have you so high up in the 4th place. Like, you have some kind of curse on you that you, even if you're doing good, you are never reaching playoffs. I mean, it's only 2 seasons so far, but it worked for both seasons. And yeah, let's hope it won't affect you for this season. Currently, it's looking fine, yes. But it's he may strike again.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
Yeah, good.
All right. I don't think. Yeah, I agree with you with what you said. Going back to the top 3 slots being a toss-up, I really do feel like just the quality of our losses, what Merck had the highest quality loss, but I do believe I had a higher quality win than him in Bob, and I don't know. I just feel like that pushed me a little bit further. Like I don't think I'm not bragging or anything. Like I could easily have been fifth or fourth on this list as well, but just as far as that goes, I feel like that put me in third.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like I would rank myself too higher than similar people. That's just it's an objective thing, and of course you know yourself, and you always should aim for the top. But yeah, these are the places 3 to 5, which we got a lot of now for the place 1 and 2, which like you already said, which are pretty obvious because these are the two teams which without a loss in the first 3 weeks they are 3-0. And yeah, we both have a second place, Uzi and the Bangladesh, and basically the only reason I have him not at first, but I have Matt at first, is because his wins are way higher than his. That's basically the only reason. Uzi is doing very well. He won 3-0 versus the Shadow Valley Murkrows, aka Merc. He won 5-0 versus the now gone team, the Swallowford FC, and he won 4-0 versus the Detroit Draco Droppers. In quality, his opponents are probably a bit better than the opponents from Matt, but like it's not by a big margin that he's second and not first. But like talking about the about the first place, like in a few minutes, this score it's amazing. I like if you have a score like Matt, you can't put him not in first place. So I'm sorry, Uzi, but in another league he would have been first place with such a record, and this sadly not.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Just they were both dominant through week 3, and just Matt had the edge. He just did a bit better than Uzi did, and let me see. Just looking at Matt's wins, they were
5-0-6-0-6-0.
Yeah, 5-0-6-0-6-0. So of course he did play he did play the 2 last place teams we would have had, but he also beat Sasha, a 7th place team, 7 or 8, I think we had him different. But just looking at that, the fact that he 6-0 2 teams within that period of time and a 5-0, just you can't take away from how big those wins are, and the fact that Uzi he had a 5-0 against the same team that Matt beat 6-0. It's like you put the comparison together. It's like you give Matt the edge for most of that. So yeah, that's what really gives Matt first place and puts Uzi in second.
But yeah, goddamn, talking about Matt, he lost 1 mon in 3 weeks. That's, I mean,
right.
Yeah, like you can't argue too much about him being at first place. He's losing amazingly this season. I am interested if he can keep it up. If he faces some stronger opponents high on the list, if he can still pull up these big wins, like of course I think he still has a capability to pull out a win, but I'm interested to see if they'll still be as big, or if he may actually be a person which can make him lose a match and basically like make him lose 6 months instead of only 1 so far.
Right.
But any last words from you on first place or?
Nope. I've said everything.
Okay, no.
I want to say.
So these were the power rankings of the GPC season 3 of week 3. You will see me again basically in a few weeks already, because we are already in week 5 in the league, and week 6 is soon to be over, and then the next power rankings will be up, probably with another guest, maybe Jess, maybe Bob, maybe anyone from the league, and we get his opinion to hear. Thanks for Pierre for being here. It was pretty spontaneous that he joined here and made his power rankings. So a huge shout out for him. I on video I will say thank you from Bob that you agreed to do this, because he asked me to
no
do
problem.
this. So you got some what you call it, points from the league founder. It may help in some situations. But okay, these are the power rankings to the players. If you have any more questions why you're ranked here, if my explanation or the one from Pierre was not sufficient to your liking, feel free to ask me on Skype for more insight. But this is all for this video. I will see you in week 6 again for the power rankings. That's basically all. Check out the GPC Twitter, link in the description. Check out Pierre's channel, links in the description. And that's all from me. I will see you next time. Ciao.
Later.